So welcome everyone and good morning. Welcome to the third annual event for the Global Tea Initiative for the study of tea culture and science. I am really excited to have you here with us today. Before we get going, we have some welcoming remarks from our Provost, Ralph Hexter.
Thank you, Catherine, and good morning, everyone. I'm really delighted to be here to help kick off this two-day symposium. The Global Tea Initiative, which, as Catherine said, is now in its third year, is a wonderful UC Davis success story. Thanks to the commitment and contributions of its many participants and the ambitious visioning of founding director Burnett, the GTI is truly blossoming. By one account I've heard, it's exploding, but I've been assured that this kind of explosion is the best possible one. The Global Tea Initiative has increased its participating faculty and librarians from about 12 to now over 40, and it's moving forward with international university partnerships, industry collaborations, and much more. This quarter, 7 faculty are offering the first team-taught Global Tea Culture and Science course as a first-year seminar. The original plan called for GTI to hold 1 colloquium per year. The first 2 events were so successful that this year we have a full-fledged symposium. Today and tomorrow, you will hear presentations from and be able to converse with scholars from UC Davis and beyond, experts from the industry, including farmers from California and around the world, and student researchers. The audience will comprise the same groups with the welcome addition of community tea enthusiasts. The symposium will also feature an exhibition of Japanese tea-related ceramics and an offering of fine teas organized in cooperation with industry partners. So, as you can see, there's a lot going on. I'm especially pleased that the GTI is flourishing at UC Davis. I'm personally proud of being involved in the inception, helping to prepare the ground for its proper planting and providing some resources for its growth. But as Provost, I'm even more pleased by what the GTI contributes to our university's mission. Like all of our 9 sister campuses in the University of California system, UC Davis is committed to pursuing cutting-edge and creative research to benefit human beings and our entire planet. We conducted advanced research in an exceptionally wide array of fields, and as appropriate, we utilized new methodologies, and doing so, we open up entire new areas for investigation. While we know that the research conducted within a single field is indispensable, we're always mindful of how disciplinary boundaries obscure the world's fundamental interconnectedness. And so, when it seems the best way forward, we undertake multidisciplinary efforts and offer highly collaborative researchers opportunities. Another thing to know about our research program is that it's one of the major ways in which we, for many years now, have been strengthening our character as a truly international university. On the education side, we encourage and enable all of our students to acquire an internationally grounded education, including study abroad opportunities, and we welcome many international students to our campus each year. On the research side, we're increasingly devoting attention to addressing international or global challenges, as well as growing our partnerships with universities, governments, industries, agencies, and individuals around the world. Oh, and one more thing. UC Davis is a world leader in education and research pertaining to agriculture, food, the environment, and sustainability. After this account, it will be immediately apparent that the GTI constitutes a wonderful blossoming of our university's mission, the intellectual character and disciplinary strengths. It recognizes the great and many-faceted importance of tea to people's lives around the globe, and it seeks to understand tea in its many aspects, to support its effective and sustainable cultivation, and to honor tea's cultural contributions through a holistic program involving experts from diverse fields. Finally, it seeks to impart its discoveries and insights through the publication and sharing of research as well as in the classroom. The GTI is already making worthy contributions toward all of these objectives, and in the process, helping UC Davis build stronger connections around the world. To many in the US, especially those outside of the academy, the wisdom of paying so much attention to tea will perhaps be a little difficult to understand. A great number of Americans enjoy drinking tea, some of them passionately. Indeed, one might say that we Americans have created a tea culture distinctly our own by generally preferring it iced. 85% of the tea drunk in the US is iced tea. But it's unlikely that many Americans view tea as an especially promising object of serious research and education. What more, they might say, do we need to know about tea than the fact that we love it? Well, to this question, I have two responses. The first is that even for a non-specialist like myself, merely to begin to think deeply about some aspect of tea can rather quickly become captivating. Those with interests in biology, agriculture, economics, or human health will naturally focus on one of those aspects. Those of us in the humanities will likely be drawn to some aspect of the history of tea, or the literary or artistic representations of tea culture. Even a quick consideration of the contrasting associations adhering to coffee and tea propels us into weighty issues of nationality, culture, socioeconomic class, colonial histories, aesthetics, performance, attitudes towards tradition and propriety, modes of personal interaction, and so on. There are so many ways in and so many discouragements to escape. The fact that it's so easy to become immersed in the subject reflects the multiplicity and depth of tea's interpenetrations into our lives and its existing or possible connections with the things we care about. My other response to the question why we should study tea is to point out that the question itself shows the need for the sort of work performed through the GTI. This is your moment. All of you are shining light on a subject whose importance is currently underappreciated outside of tea circles and too little understood. You're revealing things that, for many, have been largely invisible. I gained an inkling of this on my first trip to China, when I had the opportunity to experience a traditional tea ceremony at a tea house very near the Forbidden City in Beijing. My eyes were truly opened only last year when I visited the China National Tea Museum in Hangzhou. Though my visit was brief, I learned about the vast number of varieties of tea in China alone and the lengthy history of tea drinking, which runs back 5,000 years and has continuously evolved. For one thing, they didn't have tea bags then. My hosts there knew, of course, of the Global Tea Initiative at UC Davis and recent attempts to establish significant tea-growing enterprises in California. Our mutual interest in tea is but one aspect of our developing friendship. Thank you for allowing me to help kick off this symposium. As you contemplate the future of tea and issues in sustainability and preservation in particular, I wish you all a productive and enjoyable 2 days. Our campus has taken "To boldly go" as the motto of our strategic planning effort. In the same spirit, I urge you, if you will permit, an outrageous pun, tea boldly go. Now it's my pleasure to yield the podium to Director Burnett.
If you don't mind just staying up here with me, we want to now thank Provost Hexter for endorsing us as a campus initiative. Provost Hexter not only recognized the importance of this project, as you've just said, as he's just told us, but early on, before this was even really much of a thing, but he was willing to put his money where his mouth was. In collaboration with the deans of the College of Letters and Sciences and the dean of the College of Agriculture and Environmental Studies, Provost Hexter offered the GTI seed grant funds for 3 years to launch this project and charged us to hold 1 colloquium a year and make it blossom. So we've got the blossoming I see on the screen. So we've done our utmost to make to answer his call and his charge, and today's happy event is our third major annual response to his charge. So having set the infrastructure in our first 2 years, we're now starting the slow transition to becoming the Global Tea Institute for the study of tea culture and science, but this would not be possible were it not for Provost Hexter's support. So, thank you. But that also brings me to something else. So I want Provost Hexter to stay here as I make this wonderful announcement, and that is of something else that has just happened. The Global Tea Initiative has now officially convened a group of tea industry advisors who will help us grow and thrive. This group spent most of the day yesterday planning and forecasting for GTI's future. They are a committed group of benefactors and advisors that will help GTI move into the future. So please let me recognize these individuals here today by name. And so as I call your name, please stand and stay standing. International Tea Importers Bhavin Shah, CFO and Chief of Strategy. Q Trade Teas and Herbs Manik Jayakumar, President. Harney & Sons Master Tea Blenders, Paul Harney, Vice President, who has just had ankle surgery, so he's not with us today, but he is with us in spirit. Rishi Tea, Joshua Kaiser, CEO, represented here today by Aurora Freng. Ito N. Rona Tison, Senior Vice President, Corporate Relations and Public Relations. Mighty Leaf Tea, Pete's Coffee, Elliot Jordan, Vice President of Tea. And Dan Sun from Sierra Tea, CEO. Dan Sun. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. That said, thank you, Provost Hexter, for all of your help and for your vision, for seeing our vision, and for your support. And so on behalf of the continuously growing GTI membership of faculty and librarians, we want to present you with an honorary teacup, which is very special. It's not just any teacup, but it is an inscribed teacup. I have to dig in here because we've got a couple of goodies here. But it's an inscribed teacup that says not only Global Tea Initiative for the study of tea culture and science, but also Make It Blossom. So it's a rare teacup.
Thank you.
Pleasure. If you might have a seat. You're welcome. Thank you.
I just want to say one thing.
Oh.
Thank you, and it wouldn't be possible without Catherine and her insistent demands, which I've been so happy to respond to.